Coach, after having some difficulty scoring in the beginning of the season, the goals really seem to be dropping for you guys now. What have you seen from your team in the offensive third that maybe wasn't there at the beginning of the season?
Well, the finishing. It's still not where we want it to be, but we're working on it. We work on it and try to continue to create the chances, but now converting them. I think once our conversion rate increases, I think we'll become a better team, because all the games, even early in the season, we were creating those chances, but we just weren't putting them away. Now I think the guys are more confident, having more composure around the 18-yard box, and things are starting to fall for us. So, but on the back end of that, we're going to make sure we continue to play good defensively as a team, not just the back four or the keeper, but as a team, and so that we're able to not only score but prevent teams from scoring.
What do you make of Zach Mather's first season? A little bit with the first team, stand out for you guys. What do you make of him so far?
Well, he's coming along really well. Zach is a player that we see have a bright future here with the Sounders, and so I'm happy for him. I think he's putting in the work, and it's paying off for him. He's got a chance to play with the first team in Open Cup games and stuff like that, so that has helped his confidence. But you see, when he came onto the game, how he has that ability to change games. So I think as he improves, he'll be making a push for first team minutes.
Coach, is it his speed, quickness, or the way he reads the game?
I think it's the way he reads the game and his ability to not just read the game but complete the pass. I mean, he sees a lot of the passes that some of the guys don't have that vision quite yet. So I think that helps him a lot. And his soccer is good. Technically, he's very good. And so we're going to continue to work with him, make sure we get his fitness up a little bit, and that he, when he does step up to the first team, that we send a more complete player, because he's not all fully there yet. But we don't expect any of the S2 guys to be the complete product yet. It's our job to get them as quickly to the first team as possible, with limited amount of improvement needed once they get there.
I'm so sorry. So when they come back, and is that kind of a juggling thing to say, well, you're coming back here, let's work on this so you can get back up there? Because it's kind of something.
Yeah, I think the guys individually, it hasn't been a problem as far as managing players who go back and forth. I think, as a coach for a second team, what you have to be cautious of is the players that it affects when a player comes back down. So, for instance, you have a player that plays well, maybe scored a game win on the weekend, and a first-team player or someone who went to the first team comes back that's playing his position. Maybe he was just playing because the player was up to the first team, and now so maybe he has to sit. And, as a player, as an individual, you're like, man, coach, I played really well, and, now I'm not playing, So we got to make sure we keep those guys, ready, and keep them confident, and let them, continue to believe in what it is that we do, and explain to them, because at the end of the day, players want to know the truth. Player wants to know, coach, I scored the game winner. Why am I not starting? Why am I not playing the next week, the next game? So just being honest with them. And I think so that becomes a problem sometimes, but I think we have a good group of guys. We've assembled a good group of guys that understand the situation is, getting the first team ready and doing whatever we can to make the first team better is our number one object, and not so much winning or losing. It's more about getting the players that are on S2 developed and ready for first team, and then when first team players come down, making sure they get the minutes needed so they can be successful with the first team.
How much time do you spend with Ziggy just on a week, like you guys talking?
Well, yeah, I see Ziggy every day. I'm in the first team meetings every morning before training and stuff, so I know what's going on with them. I know what they're looking for. I know what their needs are and stuff like that. So, I've known Ziggy since '99 now, so we have a good, working, a good communication as far as players going back and forth and what it is that he needs from a S2 player that's moving up or from a first team player that's coming down, as far as everything from minutes to position that he wants to see guys in.
On that same note, who's another player that has been standout from S2 that could maybe help out the first team?
Well, there are several guys who have that ability, and who, but it's the way the league is set up or the way the rules are, it's not really easy to get guys up unless it's for like Open Cup games. So, but I think Myron Samuel has been playing well. Jordy Lem has done well. Nuhu Tolo has been exceptional for us at left back. So there are some guys, there that, and Craven, he always shows up. So, but he's on a first team contract, so he's a guy that's, been putting in the minutes. Victor has been scoring, he's our leading scorer. So there are a bunch of guys that, have been putting in the work, and but it's just they have limitations as how many people they can bring up and how many people they can take to the first team. So it's good for us in the sense that we have a good core group of guys at the second team level that we see have potential to next year or the year after be with the first team. So that looks good for the club as a whole.
In reverse to those players that haven't got as much play time, Carlos Patino came in about a year ago. It seemed to have a lot of potential. What's behind his story and why he hasn't been getting a lot of consistent play time?
Well, I think it's a competition. Every day these guys compete in and out. When Carlos has been called upon, he stepped in, but there's just some guys ahead of him at that position right now, and it's some first team guys coming down that's playing that position. So he's in a situation where like we tell all our guys, all of our S2 guys or the academy guys that come up, it becomes limited how much you get to play when there's a first team guys coming down, especially if he's playing in your position. But when you're called upon, if it's to be a sub for that game or it's to start for a game that first team player's not there, you have to show. So I think he's just got to continue to play and continue to improve, and we have him here because we see him as a good player. So right now it's just hard to get him in because of the position that he's playing.
Thank you, Coach. Coach, Arizona came up to Seattle at the beginning of the season and defeated you guys at home. What do you expect from them this time around, and what do you have to do to beat them?
Well, I think they have the weather on their side. It's supposed to be over 100 degrees there. So we have to, take that into consideration when we go there, and as far as how we approach the game, how we're going to play, being more conducive to that type of temperature. But I think they're a good team. I think they've come on lately and has really stepped up and put themselves, in the race for the playoffs. It's going to be a good game. We have that in the back of our mind that they beat us at our place. So it's just a matter of us going and playing our game, having a game plan, and sticking with it as a team as far as how we're going to attack them, how we're going to defend against them and stuff like that. I expect it's going to be a very low-paced game because of the conditions, so we're ready for that, and we're expecting some counter-attack from them. They have some good players like Tan, Sam Garza, who played here with us last year. So we've played them. We have, we've watched them play, and so we have video of them. We know what they're all about and what they have. So we just got to make sure that we are prepared to play whatever it is our game plan is going into Saturday.